Welcome. I'm Kat Connors, Director of Multisite Clinical Trial and Strategic Operations at Altasciences. Thanks for joining us today on our first episode of our fun new podcast series, where we take you through all the different aspects of conducting a multicenter clinical trial with Altasciences. Through this, you will get to hear from some of my amazing colleagues and learn more about how we can partner with our clients to manage these complex projects. When we talk about multi-site or multi-center projects, we're simply referring to the clinical operations occurring at more than one unit. This could mean multiple Altasciences sites, multiple external sites, or even a combination of the two. Altasciences has been partnering with external clinics and managing multi-site trials for over 10 years now, alongside our other CRO services like medical writing, project management, data services, BioA, clinical monitoring, CDMO, and regulatory. For our first episode, I wanted to start at the beginning and talk about how we identify the right clinical sites solutions for our clients. I'm super excited about this one, and I'm joined today by Lauren Cizarowski, the VP of Business Operations. Lauren and I have known each other for 7 years now, and we've previously worked together in the clinical project management group. We have very similar backgrounds in the industry. She is responsible for our site solutions team here at Altasciences, and I'm excited to have her talk about the latest news from the team and how we've been leveraging our experience to expand and support our sponsors move through the first in human into phase 1A and phase 2B trials. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Kat. Thanks for having me on today. I'm excited to share what's been going on in the site solutions department at Altasciences, notably the expansion of our external site network. Over the past couple of years, our team has been researching top enrolling sites in North America. We've been focusing in spaces like metabolic, CNS, and ophthalmic. These are areas that align with the expertise of our clinical operations at Altasciences. The growth of our external network allows us to support our clients all the way from preclinical into those first-in-human studies and beyond into proof-of-concept patient studies. We pride ourselves in thoroughly vetting the external sites, not only ensuring that they're the right fit to meet enrollment expectations, but also that they meet our high quality standards. These sites undergo formal vendor qualifications by our quality assurance department, even before we get to the site selection stage.
Yeah, and qualifying our external sites is a topic that we're going to add to this series in more detail down the line with our quality assurance team. Not only is it important to have vetted sites that we've worked with in the past, but it's also important to look at their structure, their capabilities, the history, to understand how they operate and how we can best work with them. Honestly, the way that we identify working with our external clinical sites is one of my favorite things about working on multi-site trials. We have made it a priority to be flexible, constantly grow, and expand our business to help meet our clients' needs. Keeping up with the ever-changing landscape, like the demands of our patient studies, and expanding our partner network is just one example of many, I'm sure.
That's exactly it. Let me give you a good example. We're working with a preclinical client right now. They're already thinking 10 steps ahead to their proof of concept. They have key opinion leaders who are interested in their emerging data. They're chomping at the bit to support enrollment in their patient proof of concept study. So at Altasciences, we're proactively planning and designing their first in-human SAD/MAD study with a patient arm. This is going to get them the data that they need in an expedited fashion without skipping any regulatory steps. For this particular opportunity, our in-house Altasciences clinics are going to play a vital role in enrolling the healthy normal volunteer subjects in the SAD/MAD portion. They're going to collaborate with the sponsor on dose escalation decisions and identifying that eventual dose for the patient arm. In tandem with that SAD/MAD enrollment, our site solutions team is going to be working on study startup with the external sites. So they'll be taking them through things like site budget negotiations, contracts, and working with the Altasciences project manager to make sure we have a comprehensive recruitment plan in place to secure enrollment in the trial.
You mentioned something that's not only important to you and I, having worked together for so many years, but also to our organization, and it's that collaboration and partnership piece and really being a one-stop shop. Site Solutions is really a partner not only to our clients, but also our Altasciences clinical units as well, and that's where that hybrid solution comes in that I mentioned previously. With our phase 1 units in Montreal, Canada, as well as the 2 US locations in Kansas City and Los Angeles, we can leverage that internal expertise in a healthy normal volunteer population while in parallel bringing our external partners on for that patient arm. And what this means is it's really seamless. Once that patient arm is ready to go, there's really no gap in the timelines. Multi-site projects, can be complex for many reasons, as we know. Altasciences has a unique ability to help just alleviate those challenges when it comes to those timelines and or costs. And I really want to hear more about the early engagement of Site Solutions at that proposal phase. What do you think makes Altasciences Site Solutions different, in finding those sites that are the right fit for the project?
That's a good question. So I think our site identification process truly goes above and beyond the standard. We're proactively vetting our network's experience through case studies. We're collating this information, and we've got it ready to go as a matching opportunity comes in the door. So this way, 90% of the studies that are coming our way for feasibility already have solid ground to start on.
So Lauren, why do you feel that early engagement is so important?
Yeah, early engagement is key. We're giving our partner sites substantial lead-in time, and that benefits everyone. It leads to a smoother startup, proactive recruitment planning. Our clients rave about the personalized, proactive Site Solutions touch that we add at the proposal stage. They appreciate knowing how and where their study will be conducted before they even award the project to Altasciences.
I love hearing that our clients rave about that. What does our site feasibility process look like?
So site feasibility starts with a comprehensive overview of the opportunity, any information we've received to date from the client, key performance indicators and expectations they have of Altasciences and any vendors we're going to be working with. And then Site Solutions takes it from there. They initiate a targeted outreach to our network. So that available therapeutic experience data, the historical recruitment metric information that we have really helps the team focus so that we're doing feasibility on sites who are well positioned for the opportunity. We're going to ask our network to complete a feasibility form. It's going to be centered around project-specific eligibility criteria, key milestones, those sponsor expectations and KPIs. We'll review any data that comes in. Internally, we talk as a team, and we produce a summary report of our findings and finally our solution for this opportunity. The added bonus is that all of our sites are also asked to provide concise thoughts on the design, including any challenges that they foresee in operationalizing the study. So this gives us formal evidence to support our proposal.
That sounds pretty unique. And it also sounds like your team has these strong relationships built up with these site partners. How long does this process typically take?
That's exactly it. We've got the necessary relationships to be able to get the right people on the phone and get feasibility turned around as quickly as possible. I'd say from receipt of the information, Site Solutions can have a plan drafted and turned around within a day. In addition to recruitment, capacity, therapeutic experience data, we also have sufficient budgeting information that really makes ballparking and proposals a breeze.
Yeah, and we all know that part can get a little tricky sometimes. It really sounds like communication is key, and having a starting point or baseline information and metrics from each site can really help us determine and track the progress of the overall project. Coming from the project management background, from an operational standpoint, this also helps us plan and mitigate any risks early that come up for screening and enrollment to have that response ready and minimize any impact on the project. You mentioned this earlier too about having a project-specific recruitment plan in place, and that's one of the topics I plan to discuss later on in the series too with our project management team, is that recruitment and risk management. It's really been interesting to hear more about how Site Solutions helps identify the right clinical sites, engages these sites early in the proposal stage, and more about the feasibility process all the way through our site selection. Thanks for that detail. I can see how clients would feel that it's a no-brainer to partner with Altasciences as a single CRO solution and provide that comprehensive plan for multi-site clinical trials to help them with their phase 1A and phase 2B projects. So thanks for joining me on our first episode, Lauren.
Thanks for having me, Kat.
It's been fun. And for everybody else, I hope you join me as we discuss other aspects of conducting a multicenter clinical trial with Altasciences and chat with some of my amazing colleagues. So if you found this episode valuable or have any specific questions, or you want to discuss more about how we can help support your clinical trial, feel free to reach out to me or reach out to us at altasciences.com. We would love to hear from you.